Okay, so we are here with Bam Bam, our white throat monitor, and if you've watched a couple videos before, you'll know that we have been working on Bam Bam. He got quite ill, and we've had a lot of back and forth with our vet. So at the beginning, we thought he was impacted, treated him for impaction. It didn't really change anything. Then the vet realized that he had had an infection, so we've been giving him antibiotics. We have given him enemas and subcutaneous fluids to keep him hydrated. Then we also did some force feeding because the vet was worried about him not getting enough nutrients to let his immune system fight as hard as it needs to. At the end of the day, we did all these things over the course of a few weeks, a month, and nothing was making anything better. He still doesn't move, he doesn't eat, he doesn't poop.
So we took him to the vet again yesterday, and actually it was kind of a painful day. We actually thought we were putting him down because we thought that we couldn't fix him. And I'm going to say thank you to Paul for maybe doing a little more research and saving my animal.
Sorry, that's Paul at Gananoque Vet Clinic in Gananoque, Ontario.
This animal is just an amazing animal. So for us to lose him was pretty painful. It was a stressful time this last month and a half. We've spent a lot of time with him, and it's tough. It's tough when you have to do that stuff. But now when we got lucky enough that Paul made some calls, and he ended up talking to a vet in Florida who deals with these, because here in Canada you don't deal with animals like this every day.
They're very
I'm
rare.
fortunate enough to have one, let alone have a vet that knows everything about them. So I'm glad Paul did his research, and because of the time and effort he put in, I'm not putting my animal down. I'm actually now waiting for him to come out of a brumation, which, if you do the research on monitors, they do not brumate.
Typically.
But what happened here is my animal ended up getting sick, so he decided to shut himself down to save himself. And we're still giving him antibiotics to make sure that this food that's in his system will not hurt him, and that he's using that food. He is definitely still alert. He was just looking up at me there a minute ago. So now I still got my animal, and he's been amazing since I've got him, and I'm grateful that we still have him. So I would say one quick thing we're going to do is just give him his antibiotics, and then again, I'm sorry about this video being too long, but it's interesting to see that these people are just helping me, and they're not just taking my money.
And it was also a really interesting experience for us to learn a lot. Dr. Paul has taught us a lot of things about our animals and how to have good preventative care as well as reactive care. And it is interesting because the monitor doesn't typically, but it's amazing that these animals can actually brumate when they're not used to doing it, just as a survival mechanism. So that was really interesting to learn too.
Okay, so I'm going to give the needle, and you can watch if you like. You don't normally do this with big monitors, climb in their enclosures, but these guys are amazing. I've spent a lot of time with them. He is just great. Normally, if he was actually upset with me, his belly would belly up, but for one, he's weak, and for another, he's just that good of an animal. You will notice that when I give him this needle, his back will actually belly up, and he will not enjoy this, but it is helping him. Got to find his spine. So his spine's here, and I've got to inject this into the muscle beside his spine, which is crazy how strong their skin is. I'm getting a little bit of work. You see now he got worked up there. I'm actually glad to see that he's getting worked up. That means he's still healthy. And there we go. Now, I'm going to jump back out, but I would like to talk about another organization. I'm going to jump back out of this enclosure, and I'd like to talk about another organization that I was grateful to go, and they were an amazing bunch of people. It's Ray's Reptiles
In Ottawa.
Going there and seeing, I remember the first thing I seen when I went there was a huge iguana. And now I have one Thor. I love these animals. These animals are amazing. And I think people need to help Ray's out. Ray's Reptiles is a rescue, so they don't take government money. So anybody who can help them, please do. These people are, how many kids have went through that place and how many kids have seen these animals and just been amazed by them. These guys, like you're talking, they have an American alligator there, and that American alligator, they've tried to send back to a zoo, and apparently they're not allowed to resend it. So they still take care of them. And I remember seeing a guy in there with a little chicken and hanging out with this alligator. Like, that is amazing. One of the most amazing things you're going to see here in Canada. So for any person to go there, it's going to be great. And for us to lose that, you know where all those animals go, right? Because it's a rescue, they're not allowed to sell those animals off and recoup money. They literally just lose animals, and I'm pretty sure they'll euthanize most of them. We need to help this organization out. You got anything to say?